Attention, Scout salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2.
Stan, I think you're muted.
I knew I was going to do that. I was doing the salute. I tell you, welcome everybody to the ScouterStan live show. Looks like we have 11 people that have decided to join us. Please check into the chat room and let us know where you are, because people are all over the place. You know, that's a nice thing. It is summertime. It's warm, right? Just about everywhere in the northern hemisphere. It's pretty warm. So we'd like to talk a little bit about maybe summer camp. What was your experience going to summer camp or getting ready for summer camp? These are things that a lot of scouters have to deal with, adult scouters and scouts, maybe even going to the first time to camp. A lot of scouts get very nervous about being away from home. And that is something that a lot of young people should have that experience. But it can be very dramatic. So it's important that the scout leaders are ready for that. I'm the other way. I don't get homesick. I get sick of home. So that's I want to be out and around and doing things and having fun and that kind of stuff. So, but not everybody has that experience. So definitely let us know in the chat. That's a great way to start up some questions that you might have about getting ready for summer camp. We are kind of in betweens. We finished our season 10, and now we are getting ready for season 11. It's hard to believe that we've been on for 11 seasons. That's usually 20 plus shows each season. It's amazing. I've been doing this for 5 years, and it gets better and better every year. If you don't believe me, just check out my first episode. It's super cringy. You get a silver star if you make it through. It's the way it is, right? So, but it's been a neat trip, and we're doing some Heinz 57s again. We have 3 of them coming up. The next one that's coming up this week we have a Heinz 57 coming up. It's called I think it's 3 episodes that we're going to focus on, and I got my notes on another screen. It's the district positions that you could fill. That was one of those episodes that a lot of people, you might have missed it, and that's a very popular one. The other one we have is unlocking the unit service, I believe, and advancement. So that was another good one. So when you combine these together, this will get you caught up. This is from, I think all 3 of these came from 2023. So just last year. That's where these episodes that are coming up, and we added off the beginnings and endings and just put them all together. Heinz 57 is so that you can watch that and absorb that information and, in essence, catch up. That's the key. That's why we call it Heinz 57. So, and that's the important part. And we have those coming up. Now we have 3 of them in the betweens, and the 3 that we have going on. Let's see here. The next one we have is about patches and badges. That's a very popular subject, and there's a lot of different things that go on for patch collectors. There's the magic of the 2010 look back with vintage merit badges. A lot of people don't know about that. So if you're collecting those things, that's one of the videos that'll be featured there that's talked about. Then they also have one about patches and trading patches at summer camp. Very relevant. So think about the things that are going on at summer camp, trading patches. You don't have to have a whole bunch. If you're that troop coming in from another state, believe me, you could trade patches because you have your council strips and your OA lodge flaps, and that's something that you can do at summer camp. So another good pointer there. And then, of course, we have one more. Let me look on the list here. Let's see. The top 3 types of patch collecting that's out there. The top 3 that are big in all patch collecting. So those are the things that are kind of neat. And what's interesting is that when you get to these Heinz 57, you can fast forward through them. I don't mind. Just play them fast, and that way it kind of refreshes your memory. Or if you've never seen them before, play them at normal speed and enjoy them. So that's what's nice about the Heinz 57 series. Do we have any questions? We have Mike with us tonight. Mike's gonna be in.
I am.
He's the voice, famous Mike.
I'm the scouting voice without a face.
There you go.
And to reiterate, looks like we have 6 thumbs up. If everyone listening can give it a thumbs up, that would, I think, helps YouTube to share it with more people. I guess we'll get to our first question.
Sure.
Or more of a comment. Relantel, viewer every month, is celebrating 1 year as a commissioner.
Awesome. I tell you, commissioners, we need them. We need commissioners. Commissioners are rare. And it's not hard to get involved as a commissioner. And I'm glad I think I talked him into it. I think that's how that ended up. And he's having a blast. So, and you can too. If you're not too familiar with it, definitely talk to your district commissioner, and they can give you all the information about it. We, as scouting, every unit has one, but it might be the default, the district commissioner that's filling in. That's a job that it's just undermanned, and it is something that's needed. So definitely look into it. I've done some videos on that. So that's a major thing. Definitely want to do that. Was there another question?
Yes, Rusty B. Hey, ScouterStan.
Hey, good old Rusty.
What's
from
up?
Ohio? Okay. Nice. Rusty.
Yep. From Ohio? Rusty B. Big Red Bus, joining us from Georgia.
Nice. Very nice.
Craig S. also joining us from Greater Louisiana Council.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very cool.
Aaron is from Fort Scott, Kansas.
Yes.
Chad Davis is Troop 64 from Morgantown, West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Enjoying resident camp in North Carolina. Okay.
Very nice. North Carolina.
Timothy is joining us from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Nice. I'm seeing a lot popping up. That's good.
Okay. Next question. What is the max age to get the Youth Religious Award?
The max age for youth. I believe it has to do with their registration with Scouts. So if they're in, and it really depends on the religious award. The religious award that they receive depends on that faith. Some have the same requirements for all, from youth all the way through the adult. And typically, if you're in the Cub Scouts, they would have one set of requirements versus somebody that's in a troop, they would have another requirements. And if they are an adult, they would have a third. So it's really defined by the age. So if you're in a troop, you're considered an adult at 18. So that's when the requirements would change. So you have to check with the different faiths that are out there and what kinds of awards that are available. There are so many. I'd love to do a video on every one, but I did the quick math, and it would have taken me 7 years to actually produce that. That's a lot of different faiths. It's a lot of different requirements, but it really depends on what you're working, where you are in scouting, and how you want to get that award, that recognition for your faith. So it's important. Scouting faith is extremely important. The last scout law is reverent. So that is super important. The very first part of our oath is a promise to God and country. So faith is a very big part of what we do in scouting. And it's so important that we work on that with our scouts and ourselves. So I only have the youth religious award knot. It's a purple knot, silver. I believe you can see it on my pocket, I think, right there. So give you an idea. So, but that's, it varies. It depends on the faith and what the requirements are, and if they have different age groups. Now, sometimes I've actually seen this. Some faiths will cross over from very young requirements, will cross into troops, because they'll go up to, like, I think 14 on some faiths. So you have to check with whatever faith religious award you are working on. Hopefully I answered that one.
I think you did. I think Craig corrected me. LA is Los Angeles, not Louisiana. My mistake. Okay.
Good old Los Angeles. Beautiful. California.
Big Red Bus, frequent viewer, ADC Roundtable, and UC here. Been a UC on and off since 1989.
Nice. Now, UC is the acronym for Unit Commissioner. So we had an episode about acronyms. Acronyms can turn a lot of young parents out of scouting because they don't know what they're talking about. So they have to start using the whole words. So
Aaron has a question about a scout that does not want to go to camp for the first time. So I'm not sure if this is a scout that has gone previously or if this is literally the scout's first time, because the scout won't earn any merit badges. So looking for advice and discussing with the scout that won't earn any merit badges at camp.
I'm
guessing that's their first year. Yeah,
there's several points that should be made. You need to be talking with the parents. A lot of the anxiety comes from parents. It's unfortunate, but it does happen. So it's important that the scout leaders know that. If the scout has hesitation, if the parents have hesitation, I think the leaders will have it too. And rightly so, because that would be terrible to be on a bus going out of state with a scout that doesn't want to be there. That's not good. The scouting experience for the first year is very important in regards to basic skills. There are no merit badges from scout all the way up to first class. There's no merit badges required. It's all in the book. You can literally go to summer camp and get a lot of things worked on that you can't do back at home, such as an axe yard. Okay, you really can't do that in a troop situation back home. You can at camp. Building rope bridges and towers and learning your lashes and doing the stuff to become first class. That really is the key to summer camp. And usually you only do that once and throw in a short list of merit badges they can obtain in, say, a day or two to just get them used to the merit badge process. So it's training. We're training them to succeed. We're going to give them the tools to do so. That's the lovely thing. And this is something parents need to know. Yes, it's going to be hard. It is tough when you're very young and you leave mom and dad. That separation can be hard. It can really be hard. A lot of tears. Okay. But you have good trained leaders that are going to see them through the hard times, and they might have a hard time at camp. That's true, But when they come back, they've grown. You don't want that to happen when they go off to college. Okay. You don't want them calling you up at work crying because they want to come home. That scout camp kind of prepares them for that chance to really develop on their own and gain new skills. And they're around friends and people that'll take care of them. They're not going to, nobody gets hurt, or, emotionally, you might be a little raw, there might be a little tears every now and then, but that's okay. It's a part of growing up. And if they don't have that opportunity at scout camp, when are they going to have that experience? They're going to have it someday, right? They're not going to live the rest of their lives with their parents. So it's very important that they have that skill, that independent skill of being able to handle that. So I think if you deprive them of it, it's an opportunity lost. So I really, really recommend that parents let the scout leaders go to camp and maybe have that experience. Most of the time they don't. They've discovered the ice cream at the trading post, or they've discovered mile swim or something they're really into, and it doesn't even dawn on them. They don't even have a downtime to think about it. So that does happen. So definitely let them go to camp if it's the first time. Did they say that it was the first time?
It was unclear.
Okay. Yeah. I think it's important to really talk with the parents.
I think very often at many camps have a special program for first-year scouts where it's focusing on things other than merit badges. It's a really great program.
Trying to get them to first class because there are things there they can't do back home. So that is like build a fire. You don't want to be doing that in the backyard, it's a little nerve-wracking. But see, all the facilities are there at camp, and they're used to it, and they do that first year emphasis. My son he went out of state. He went to Woodruff, which is in Georgia, and he did the Mountain Man program, and they didn't do merit badges. It was all first class skills. They were trying to get as many done as possible. So, and that way all the scout skills are there, and then it's a natural to do some merit badges after that.
And something I would add for parents that are sending a scout to summer camp for the first time, somewhere usually on the camp's website, there will be an adult leader guide that's great for parents too. Everything you want to know about the details of camp.
Yep.
That can help relieve anxiety for the parents.
Yes, it does. And that is very important. Go to the camp's website, download the PDF that they have for leaders. All parents can do that. That's not a problem. There's no secrets in scouting. It's not like you have to have a scoutmaster's degree to figure it out. It's very simple. Please take advantage of that information. It will fill you in. It'll tell you about the waterfront. It'll tell you about the boats and all the other stuff that goes on at the camp, and especially the first year emphasis. I've even seen my camp here in Central Florida is Lenoche, and they have one book for first year camping, and they have another one for just the camp. So there can be different ones. So just go around on their website, look for the right one, and download them and read them. They're great. They will definitely answer questions and make you more confident about your son or daughter going to camp. So very important.
All right, we have a comment from Angio Tenson. Wanted to thank you for suggesting becoming a unit commissioner, and recently contacted a person in charge to start the onboarding process. Yep. Welcome as a new unit commissioner.
That's awesome. That we unit commissioners, I'm still a commissioner. I'm still a unit commissioner. And one of the things that we get to see is we get to see great troops and great packs and bring that information back to other units that need that information. And that's kind of the connection between a unit and your council and district It's what connects it all together. Is your unit commissioners is really where that comes through, and we're there to help you succeed. We're not there to spy on people. That's not our job. Our job is to help you. You have an issue. We can find the resources. We may not have the answer right away, but we can find those answers and bring them to the unit and solve problems. I've had to solve many problems, and it was purely communications, and it was talking with parents, talking with leaders. Rarely is it the scouts. I've never had an issue. So it's always parents and scouts, scout leaders that have that problem. So definitely get involved. You're dealing with the adults. You're not going to be dealing with the little Cub Scouts. You have to, that's for the den leaders and the Cub Master. That's their realm. And so that's what's neat about being a unit commissioner. You help out a lot with the committee. You're talking with committee chairs and treasurers and advancement people. That's super important. That whole group of people need that assistance. They need that connection. So if you're thinking about becoming a unit commissioner, get with your district commissioner. Your district commissioner will help you get onboarded as far as all the information, what training, that's all done online. There might even be live training. So it depends on your district and how many. The units outnumber unit commissioners, usually about 28 to 1. It is amazing how low. We need a commissioner for every unit. We really do. And it's important that we as scouters join in and help out as far as the unit commissioners. It is super important. Very important.
All right. I see a follow-up comment from the reluctant scout. Seems like it's maybe a parent that's very, maybe it sounds like parental anxiety is the issue. So
Can be.
Okay. I have another question.
Okay.
Randy says for 20 years, he's taken new scouts to summer camp. They come back changed because their unit goes whitewater rafting. They come on an awesome canyon to swim, climb into huge rock mazes, visit caves. That sounds like an amazing summer camp experience.
I tell you, you give young people the opportunity for experiences like that. It changes them for the better. They become more reliable, more reliant. They start living by the scout oath and scout law. Wow. That is what you want to do. As a leader, that's the critical thing. That is absolutely true. The scouts that are in that picture before they leave, the big group picture, they're not the same scouts when they come back. They're more reliant, successful. They've done something challenging. That's the beauty of camp. And I find it incredibly sad that parents can't let go, to have them do that opportunity, but they will eventually. They will have to come to terms to that. They're going to they're going to get married and go off to college, and they're going to go off in a career, or, there's a lot of, they're going to leave. So having them dealing with that anxiety early on can give them opportunities to really be self-reliant. It's only a week. It's not for years. But that is something that a lot of parents, they do have anxiety, but you have scout leaders. I don't know of any scout leader who wouldn't jump in front of a bus to save a scout. I mean, they believe in the message of scouting, and they will be there to help them and guide them. Whitewater rafting is one of my favorite things. I love doing that. My son was in a troop that would often go out of state. And if they were going on the Ocoee River, which is one of my favorites, that is a roller coaster in the water. It is amazing. Okay. If you ever, if you like roller coasters in the water, it's an amazing ride. That is something else. When you launch your raft, it's into a cat 4, I believe. It's right after a big waterfalls where you go down and launch into this river, and it just takes off 20, 30 miles an hour down the river. It is amazing, absolutely amazing. So definitely, and I don't know anybody that comes away from that with, cheering and smiling and having the time of their life. I don't that's a memory. Seeing those smiling faces on that raft, soaking wet, of course. but yeah, it is something that the scouting experience, the quintessential scouting experience, is the summer camp.
All right, Mario. Mario is fortunate to be the skipper of a new Sea Scout ship, and he's
Awesome.
wondering if his primary should start taking merit badges or not.
The way that works now, this is the interesting thing about crews and ships. If you've got the scout all the way up to first class, that's the scout skills. That's what's needed. From that standpoint, once they've gotten to first class, they can do merit badges and be with the crew on their own and earn Eagle, if that's their goal, with merit badges. That's the interesting thing. So you have to talk with your skipper if you're on a ship, your crew advisor if you're in a crew, venture crew. So these are things that they need to do. They need to go and get with them and kind of come up with a game plan. Well, what's the merit badges? What type of merit badges should you do? What interests you? That's the big thing that they can work on. And that will help you move forward towards your goals. And that's a critical thing. Now, Sea Scouts and crews both have high-end awards, okay? High-end adventure awards. And so that might be part of that discussion. Maybe you get both. Maybe you want both. Maybe that's a goal that you could set. So these are things that the scout can do, and definitely look into it. Talk with your adult leadership and make sure that they understand your goals, what you want out of scouting. That's the beautiful thing. I saw hearts coming up on the comment. What was that?
Okay, I'm not sure. So Randy just returned from Camp Woodruff yesterday.
Oh yeah, Woodruff. Yep, Woodruff is the one my son went to.
Okay, and that. Aaron talks about the scout. It seems that the mother is not wanting the kid to go because he's not going to be getting merit badges, and
he can.
I think again, this is okay. That's their choice, but first-year scouts have a special program to do a lot of requirements to jumpstart them in the program. So it's not a merit badge, but it's a lot towards rank at most camps.
That's true. That's very true. So it really depends on the parents. The parents have to make that decision on their first year. It's not that you need to be first class in order to make those merit badges worth anything. Okay. Because merit badges only come into the requirements for Star, Life, and Eagle. That's when merit badges become part of the requirements. So that's much later. If they don't go to the first year, they don't get some of the things that they could sign off, like a swim test. Okay. It's very difficult to do a scouting swim test if you don't have a scouting waterfront. It's very simple. And that's one of the scout skills that are needed in order to get to first class. That's the key. So the focus on merit badges is not necessarily important the first year. If they're only going to be in scouting for 1 year, maybe. But if they're going to be in scouting to reach their goals, they're going to be in for more than 1 year. So they've got time. And usually all of the really difficult things that need to be done at scout camp because of the facilities, that's the neat thing. They can get those signed off. They can work on everything from scout to first class. They can work on all of those for every one of those requirements all at the same time. There's no time period. They don't have to earn the rank and then go to the next one. Okay. That's in the book. That's actually part of the process. And you can get things signed off at camp that you can't get signed off anywhere else.
Okay. And I think it's scouts of any rank or any age can earn merit badges.
Yeah.
Um,
They're not restricted. It's just, it may not be the focus. Now, I think at Woodruff, they said that they would give you, they give you an opportunity in the schedule to do a merit badge if you want. And I think that's good because that's a scout skill, learning that process of how to do a merit badge. It might be something simple like, chess, okay, which has been notorious for being a very easy merit badge, or fingerprinting or something like that, to learn the process of how to earn a merit badge. That's something they can teach there at camp.
Okay, we have a follow-up question from Mario about the Sea Scouts.
Okay.
And wondering, can a scout earn a merit badge even though they're not registered? Okay, I think if they're not registered in a unit, that's the question.
Nope. I would say no. It's very difficult because that's part of the requirements. They have to be a registered scout somewhere in order to do that. It's just like a merit badge cannot be earned by an adult because they're not listed as a youth with the organization. So they can't earn those merit badges. They certainly can teach them. If they're qualified, they can definitely teach them, but they can't earn those merit badges. Once they're earned and you're past 18, that's it for most troops. There is an exception. It's the 3-year gray period between 18 and 21 for crews and ships. There's a gray area there where they can continue to earn merit badges, but they have to be focused on the goal of achieving Eagle. That's the only thing there. They need to have that there. A lot of crew, venture crew, and ships, Sea Scouts will also be dual registered with a troop. So that's a very common thing to have them in both places. Second registration doesn't cost anything, but that unit may have additional fees. So you have to work that out. I think I did a video on that.
I believe you did. So Revved Up talks about my son is 11 years old and wants to be SPL, Senior Patrol Leader.
Nice.
Older and younger scouts want him to be the Senior Patrol Leader, and they think he would do well at the job. He is star rank, and well, congratulations on reaching star rank at age 11.
Yeah.
But the Scoutmaster is reluctant due to lack of experience at that age. So what would you say there?
There are two things you can do. You really need to have a serious conversation with the Scoutmaster about leadership. I think a big part of that conversation should focus around some training on leadership skills. One of the big ones that youth have is NYLT, National Youth Leadership Training. Most councils usually will have 2 times a year that they have that, winter and summer. At least in the South they do. Up north, they may have fall and spring courses. That really is the wood badge for youth. It goes through communication skills and all the very important things that are involved with being a leader. Being 11, you're probably very mature, okay, for your age. And especially if you've got accolades from youth and adults that think you can do the job. But if you also have the experience of going to NYLT, it would be very difficult from a Scoutmaster standpoint to not let you at least become an assistant Senior Patrol Leader. And then the following year, run for Senior Patrol Leader. So that's what I would recommend. Come up with a game plan. If you want to achieve a goal, just write down what you want. What do I need? What are the skills that I need to do that thing? That's the neat thing about scouting. You're learning so many neat skills and at a very young age. That is exactly why a lot of employers see that eagle on your application or your resume, and they know. So definitely do that. Awesome. Uh-oh, I think your mic is out. Hang on. Did I do that? Nope, I didn't. Mike, I believe I'm not hearing you.
Oh, sorry. I
go.
failed to unmute. Okay. Okay.
A little technical difficult.
Cowboy,
Well, we're only about, 1,000 miles away from each other?
Yes. Cowboy Bigfoot turned in his application to be an adult leader and hoping to be a den leader. That's amazing. And wondering how long will it take?
Oh, that really
The
depends on
application
the
we
council.
processed.
The council, once they get the application and all the paperwork kind of finished, they are going to make sure that the YPT, the Youth Protection Training Certificate, matches, so that they match. And at that point, they're going to do a background check, and that takes about a week. And after that, you're ready to go. So it's a pretty quick process, but they do have to check to make sure that everything is in place. All of the documents are signed, and all the background checks have been done, and of course the training. So that's the key. So within, say, a week or two, you should have confirmation from them, which includes a number. And that when you get that ID number, you want to go on to my scouting or my.scouting.org and match that membership number to your training. So you want those things connected. Your training right now without that number is just floating around. It's just got your name on it. So you got to connect those things, and that's where it starts to connect up. So that's something.
Right.
I don't know if they tell you that or not. That's weird.
All right, we have, on that comment, I think it would probably be helpful for parents of all new scouts to hear about Scoutbook, and that they can log in and see what the status is, what the kid is logged in. And it's also many units use Scoutbook to communicate calendar items and such. But okay, our next question from Taupin Video Gaming. I have just gotten back from Camp Yagug and earned 6 merit badges.
Yagug.
6 merit badges. That's a good haul for camp.
Yeah, was that Camp Yagug? Because I've been there. Camp Yagug. It's in Rhode Island, I believe. Yeah, I was there as a kid. I got my environmental science merit badge there.
All right, we have another question.
Camp Yagug. Woo! Awesome.
Okay, another question from Angiotensin. Comes from a smaller lodge. I assume that's reference to Order of the Arrow.
Yep. Where
they don't have chapters, and wondering what are chapters.
Chapters, when you're dealing with a lodge, if it's a small lodge, they won't have chapters. They'll just be the lodge. So the lodge chief and so on. Chapters are divisions, like states of a country. They're different groups. Then those groups belong to a lodge. That's something that in the past, it was all lodge based, but then some just got unbelievably big, and thousands of scouts. And it was very important that they could break them off into groups in their area. The very first ones were just divisions. So they would have north and south of whatever council you're in. Then they said, well, it depends if the council has more than one camp. Each camp could have a lodge. So it became kind of difficult. Nowadays, most councils will have districts. They'll have different districts, and each district has a chapter of the lodge of that camp that belongs to that council. So it's a structure. So if you're in an area that it's only one council and there's no districts, then that's probably where you're at. And it's rare. There's only 4 or 5 of those in the whole country. It really depends on the youth leadership. Again, the OA is youth led, and it is one of those things If you don't have the good leadership, it can kind of fall apart. So you need the good adults, advisors to get in there and start helping the youth learn how to run a large lodge, and even divide it up into districts for different chapters. So that's, in a nutshell, that's kind of it. And it really depends on where you are. that's a very specific question to where your area. If you're an airman, please get involved. Start doing stuff with the lodge. Get involved. This is how, letting you know, this is how we retain older scouts. Older scouts, they may not want to do scout skills every meeting, okay, because they become the trainers for the troop. The nice thing is that the Order of the Arrow, the honorary society that scouting has, retains the older scouts and gets them to stay in scouting longer. Whenever I'm doing an Eagle Border review for my district, that's one of the questions. Are you in the Order of the Arrow? I see a flap. Are you Ordeal? Are you Brotherhood? Have you done anything with the? That is very important. I see that all the time. And it's because they've been retained in scouting. They've been able to get to their goals longer. They've had longer time to do that. So definitely be involved. Be involved.
All right, we have another question from Alex, wondering, can an assistant scoutmaster or an assistant cubmaster be eligible for the Scouter's Key Award or the Unit Award of Merit? Not
Unit Award of Merit. That I believe, Unit Award of Merit, I believe that is something that the unit actually does. I don't believe that is something that is council or district. District Award of Merit, that is, it's a blue knot with it's like a pretzel looking knot. That's the District Award of Merit, and that is district level. Council, they go into Silver Beaver, I believe, in council. Region or area, I think is what they're calling it now. That's Antelope, and national is Buffalo. So these are the different awards that they have for that. So that's the other awards, I think, are area awards. They are within your district. So that might be those things. The key awards, I believe you mentioned, I believe those are council. So those are council awards. So you can get the paperwork and actually file it. And I believe it goes through your service center at your scout office. And that'll eventually go to advancement and so on. So that's how that's done.
Is there like a Scouter training notch or something like that that assistant scoutmasters can do? That sounds familiar. Okay. Yeah,
the ones that are green that are right in the middle there, those are training knots. I received one for Cubmaster, and I received another one for the training award for Cubmaster, assistant scoutmaster, and unit commissioner. So I got 3. I'd have 3 of those little pips on there. So I've received that 3 times. So I do a lot of training.
Okay, here's an important question that I think a lot of people would appreciate some clarification on. Willie says, I've heard that Scouting America wants troops to be co-ed. Can anyone verify this? And will there no longer be separate boy and girl troops? I think that's a great question to clarify.
It's a good question. That was brought up at the big meeting they had here in Orlando, in Central Florida. They had some discussion about that, and I believe they are doing an experiment. It's not official. I don't believe they're doing it in Florida, but I believe they are trying out the ideal of a co-ed troop, and they're having some problems. So I don't know if that's going to work. The troops, even conjoined troops, a girl troop and a boy troop, those are doing very well. They're doing awesome. They're doing exceptionally well. The problem we're having with co-ed is if you don't have the youth leadership I'm trying to say it politically. Okay. You have to have the youth leadership on the same page. You got to understand, we're dealing with teenage boys and teenage girls, and the boys don't want to look like idiots in front of the girls. That's human nature. And I feel that there's some leadership problems there with a senior patrol leader, boy or girl. That could be an issue. So I think that to avoid the problem, to stay boy troop and girl troop is just fine. I think that's been successful so far. The co-ed ones, I don't know how that's coming around. In the end, the result is going to be determined by who signs the charter. So it's up to the charter to make that decision. Some charters will not have a co-ed troop. They just won't. They'll have a boy troop, and they might even have a girl troop, but they're not going to have a co-ed one. That's up to the charter. The charter actually makes that decision, what kind of unit it is. Parents can choose to join either. So that's the thing. But I think the charters are the ones that are going to probably resist that the most. And parents are probably going to let their feet go in the direction they need to satisfy what they want out of scouting. So I think that's a politically charged answer. It's another individual thing.
Definitely many opinions. All right. Sounds like Arminda is listening to recent videos, catching up, and suggests a video on how to handle what might go wrong at summer camp.
Ooh.
Opportunities to be prepared.
That's true. What could go wrong at summer camp? I can think of several things that went wrong. We had a scout leader actually fall out of a white water raft and break a rib. So there's something. Oops. What do you do? Luckily, we had enough adult leaders to cover it, so wasn't a problem. But we've had issues. So yeah, that's a great suggestion. Thank you. I could use suggestions, by the way.
All right, Timothy, responding to the previous question, saying the assistant scoutmaster and cubmaster are eligible for the adult awards, like Scoutmaster Training Award and Scouter, but the Scouter Key is only for Scoutmaster and Cubmaster and Commissioner.
Okay. All right. Yes, I have the key and I have the arrow point for commissioners. So those are the ones that I have.
Okay, Taupin, another longtime listener. Many of our older scouts in our troop are not really motivated to help younger scouts on their requirements. When a younger scout asks, the older scouts may be on TikTok on their phones.
Uh-oh. I think we need to have a discussion about screen time with our scouts. Screen time is not at the meeting. That's not when that should be going on. I don't mind them having a phone. I do have a problem when they got their nose buried in it and they are not listening and they are playing a game or chatting with somebody that's not in the meeting. I mean, it can be a big disruption. And I recommend that cell phones should be put in their pockets. They shouldn't be on their cell phone. And it should be just a group. The group decides, no, we're not going to do that. That way, it's not a distraction, and it shouldn't be. This is an opportunity that youth have to interact with one another, to actually talk to one another. We're losing that ability slowly, but we are starting to lose that with our youth. They're constantly on their phone. Now, it's weird. We're on YouTube, so we're part of the problem in some ways. But you could always come back to it. You can always put it down. You could always put it on pause. I'm big on time off the cell phone, away from a screen. That is huge. There are many times, and I try to do this every single day, to just go outside and listen to the birds, listen to the buzz of the bugs. We have cicadas down here. It's hypnotic and it's beautiful. And you get back into nature just by doing that, and just walk around. You don't have to have your nose buried in some kind of entertainment 24/7. And this is especially true for those young people in that troop. They need to interact with those younger people. Think about, I mean, if they're all sitting there on their cell phone, and I've actually seen a whole table of youth sitting there tapping away on their cell phone. It just drives me crazy. So important.
It's all about the right time and the right place.
Exactly.
I know of a troop that sometimes in the winter will have a church basement overnight lock-in and tell every scout if they want and bring their video game.
Right. There's a time and place. There's a time and place. Some are real strict. Some are, the summer camp. The neat thing about summer camp, usually these summer camps are way out in nowhere. There's no Wi-Fi. So kind of takes care of itself at that point.
There's things you can do at summer camp that are very hard to do any other place. So.
Exactly. Take advantage of that opportunity because it won't be there. The dead of winter, it's not there. So
we have hello from Joseph.
Yeah.
Taupin suggests that the Scoutmaster should try to limit cell phones and push other kids to help out because they want to get a eagle.
Exactly. Helping the other scouts is part of the process. I believe it is in the EDGE process, or using the EDGE process of training or teaching is part of STAR. I might be wrong, but that is something that that's a requirement to help youth learn a skill through using that EDGE method. That is something that the older scouts need to be doing. I'm not big on TikTok or all the other media stuff. And it's nothing against them. It's a distraction from the opportunity that a scout meeting puts in front of a youth. They have the opportunity to be a leader. They have the opportunity to learn. When you teach a skill, you're learning that skill too. It's reinforcing in your mind. That is very important as far as the older scouts. Being distracted, not good. And it's been around for a long time. They used to do it with books. They would say, people, leave your books at home. Back a long time ago, they would say no reading while you're at the church meeting, okay, unless it's the Bible. So that was you weren't allowed to do any of that stuff. So it's a distraction from your purpose, from what you're there to do. That's the key.
And see, there's some advice I would offer to scouts that are making comments on this channel. If there's use enough words to make a complete sentence, to have a question or comment. I see some sentence fragments. I'm not really sure how we can respond to them, but here's another one.
Okay.
Revved Up is trying to go to Camp Zanforti. I'm not sure how to say that, with his son and with another troop. But the camp hasn't gotten him a schedule for merit badges and stuff to sign him up. I bet he could call the camp office and they could probably hook him up.
Yep. In fact, they might have a website where that book actually has the set schedule for all the merit badges. Now, if he's signed up for those merit badges, that's something he has to confirm with the camp. So that's something that needs to be done. Typically, they want the Scoutmaster to be involved in that, because technically the Scoutmaster is the one that connects the merit badge counselor to when you're doing merit badges. When you're doing that blue card process, they want the Scoutmaster to be involved in that. So
I think this might be related to a summer camp. So
yes,
but usually the Scoutmaster, someone signs it up. So
right. When they sign up, they should have the Scoutmaster review that too. So that's
Rusty says our district and is our chapter for a large. Okay.
Yep. That's true in a lot of places. The district is turns out to be that chapter of the lodge. But there are a few councils that are so small they don't have districts, so that would have just the lodge. So typically in the past, it's not based on the actual. The lodge is not based on the council; it's based on the camp. So a council, some councils are huge. They may have 2 camps and they might have 2 lodges. So that could be the issue too. They might have one lodge for a very tiny camp and then have another one for a huge, plantation kind of camp. And that might be the issue with the singular, no chapters. So it varies. It's all over the country is different. And there's so many different lodges. And I know that with, I believe it's the Hawaiian Lodge that's in the Hawaiian Council of Oahu. Each island is a chapter. So it could be geographic too. So
yeah, it's Order Zero.
Yeah.
Willie C says thank you. I think we answered a question previously.
You're very welcome.
Taupin Video Gaming says at camp, is that Yagug? How do you say that? Yagug.
Yeah.
Many scouts had their phones die because they spent so much time on TikTok and it used up the battery. Therefore, they need to be charged. And our outlet had 16 phones at once that were trying to charge, and it tripped it and it went off overnight.
Tripped the breaker. Too many amps. That's amazing. So that's the thing. You don't need the phone at camp. Okay. Use the camp. You paid for camp. Why? It's like going to the movies and talking on the phone. That doesn't make sense. It's something else. Got another question there, I think. Oh, you're on mute again. There you go.
I am. All right, trip. Okay, sounds like trip to breaker with so many cell phones charging. As an electrical engineer, I'm not sure that 16 cell phones would trip a breaker, but certainly a possibility. And
2 amps apiece, you need a bunch.
Yep.
So, well, it could be a 15 amp breaker on that outlet. Who knows? So,
okay. And Taupin went to a campsite at Manitou in Medicine Bow.
Yeah. Manitou.
Another one, simply there's too much power consumption that our phones use would shut down electricity for 5 to 7 campsites. Well, okay, if it's 5 to 7 campsites on one breaker, that could also explain it. But
that's not good. So yeah, that's it could be the the director came along and went, turned it off. So said too many on that little outlet. It should look like that scene in Christmas Story with all the outlet and all the different connectors on it. Porcupine looking thing with power going through it. So yeah, it should be like that. It's dangerous. But think of it this way. You should be concentrating on merit badges. You should be going down to the waterfront. You should be doing the stuff that you paid perfectly good money. Your parents did. These kids, their parents paid for that. They should be taking advantage of it. I'm just saying, there's no point of looking at pictures of the Grand Canyon, standing on the edge of the Grand Canyon. Use your eyes, okay? Put the phone down, turn it off. There's so many phones have never been turned off. Yep. I believe in camp mode. You've seen the video. It's here on the channel. I really believe in camp mode, and every single phone has camp mode. There are so many adults, so many children who do not know they have camp mode built into their phone. The power button, you just hold it down and it will go into camp mode. takes a little bit, but you'll literally go into camp mode. Now, when you leave camp, you can do the same thing and it'll come right back.
Okay, I think Joseph looks like he's camped at Medicine Bow in Wyoming. Wow.
Ooh.
And I think we're kind of winding down in questions. Yeah. We're kind of out of questions here.
There's no way to answer all the questions. There's always a question.
Yeah, I would like to reiterate that whether a leader's going to camp or even a parent sending their kid to camp, I really would suggest getting a hold of the Adult Leader Guide. It will answer a lot of questions, and you'll just understand what's going on.
I definitely agree. That is super. That's a great suggestion, because if you have that manual, that book, it's maybe 10 pages. It's not elaborate, but it gives you all the answers to questions that parents have. Frequently asked questions it is critical to have that information, and it will definitely ease your anxiety of letting your youth go to camp and have those experiences and achieve the skills that they need to succeed. Because without it, they're going to have a real hard time. I always think, I live in a college town. That's Orlando. College town. We have like 3-4 different colleges right here in town. And there are a lot of freshmen going through some severe separation problems. And they've never been away from home. So that's not good. That's especially for older youth. If they have that problem, they need to be in a environment that can see to their needs and make sure that they're not in any problems or any harm. So that's one of the things that Scout Camp can do, and it gives them that skill. So when they go to camp, when they go to college, they go to boot camp, they move off to more serious things. They can get through that anxiety, that separation, much easier after going to camp and being part of it. And that's the key. So definitely, they need to definitely do that.
Knowing what to expect, I think, can be great. Andrew Tenson is asking, do you take your scouts to Disney? I wonder, wow. Is there a scout overnight experience available at Disney?
There is a camp. There is a Disney camp. It's right on Disney property. They've changed the name, but there is a camp. It's glamp, basically. It's glamping, but you can camp there. Now there are Camp La Noche, which is the Central Florida camp. They have the opportunity before and after for group passes to go to the amusement parks, and we have, of course, Disney has all of its different things, everything from Animal Kingdom to the Magic Kingdom to Epcot. They have all of that. And then you have Universal, which has the Universal Studios. And then you've got, what is the other one? Islands of Adventure, which has the roller coasters that I like. I like that. Oh my gosh. There's some roller coasters there. Awesome. Harry Potter, if you're a big Harry Potter fan, that's there. And then we have things like Gatorland. Okay. There's something else to see 1,000 gators try to eat a turkey, a frozen turkey. So that's entertaining. But we also have the spaceport and SpaceX and NASA. We have a lot to offer a troop in those regards. And if you're coming from many states away, make it worth it. Spend 2 weeks, spend 1 week doing vacation stuff, like the parks and stuff, and then do the La Noche experience, the jungle camping. It's kind of neat.
In fact, I think I've heard that there might be a Scout overnight experience offered at the Kennedy Space Center. That sounds very interesting.
Yep. They also have Space Camp, which is like a day camp kind of thing, but they have that too. It's right next to the visitor center in Cape Canaveral.
Hillary asks, what district are you involved with in the Central Florida Council?
I'm in the Central Florida Council, That's the one I'm in. There's, I think that's the only one, but my district is called Narcoossee. It went through a name change this year at the beginning of the year. Prior to that, it was called Colonial, and we combined our district with another district, and it tripled in size. So it's now gigantic, and it's called Narcoossee. Narcoossee is it's local Seminole Indian for little bear. that's our district. So, in fact, I don't think I have my district patch. I have a patch for district. I don't have it here, but yeah, it's a fun thing. And there's all kinds of districts all over the place. So, you know, for our area, we have districts on the coast too. There's some on the Gulf Coast. There's Tampa, of course, and then we have Miami, and Jacksonville has their own. So, you know, I think it's called North Florida. So,
okay, Dean says just joining the broadcast. Just got back from a double Eagle Court of Honor.
Awesome!
Oh.
Those are the best. The most eagles I've seen presented was 6. That was the most. But they did it right. They had bagpipes and everything. It was it was quite the night. So, but yeah, I love those things. Those are so great because you know, and this is one thing I tell people at the Eagle Boards of Review. That is the big secret. Okay, they don't realize we are talking to the best scout in their troop at that moment, with the best leaders in the room. Okay. And the best parents at the end. I mean, it is the best. Okay. That is just as good as going to these Eagle ceremonies. It's just, you can see them swore in and all that. There's a trend in our council I just love. And that's where all the Eagle Scouts that are at the award are asked to come up to the stage. And when they do the Eagle charge, they stand behind the scout with their left hand on his shoulder and their right hand with the sign, and they all take that charge. The Eagle Scouts that are there, they're renewing and they're charging the new Eagle Scout. That is a Kodak moment. Okay, that's one of those moments that sends chills down your spine because it is just the ultimate, okay, of achievements, and that's the important part. Mike, do we have some more? Because I think you're muted again.
Yep. Yeah. Okay, just unmuted. Yeah, we have a couple more questions. What troop are you a Scoutmaster of? I think you're a unit commissioner, not currently Scoutmaster. Okay.
I'm a unit commissioner. I am registered as a scouter with the district. I'm not with a unit anymore. Back in the day, I spent 13 years with a troop, and in my council, and they moved several times while I was there, and I was the assistant scoutmaster, and I got to go to camp with them, and it was a blast. I really enjoyed it. It brought back a lot of the things that happened in my youth, and gave me the opportunity to do this, to actually do YouTube and answer questions. So that is one of the nice things about it. And as far as the troop number, I believe, well, it's 202, but all of the ones in this area start with a 0. So all the troops do. So it's actually 0202. And in fact, they do the 202. That's there. When we do a serious picture of the group, then we do the funny picture, and that's the 202 cheer.
Okay, question from Dean. Would a council ever make a decision to replace somebody as a commissioner?
There are so few commissioners. They might move them to another position. That might be the case. It's rare. It's rare. If you're not getting along with your unit commissioner, you definitely need to be talking with the district commissioner. And if you're not getting along with them, you can move up to the council commissioner. So it's a chain of command there. So definitely talk with them. If there's issues, you can definitely work that out. That's something that's possible. It's, we're dealing with volunteers. everybody in this, there's very few, very, very few that are paid. Everybody here, everybody on the channel, me, everybody, we're volunteers. We do this out of kindness, and we're driven by the scout law, like me, to do this for our kids, for America. And that's one of those things. So a unit commissioner can move to another unit, and sometimes there's a conflict of interest. They may have somebody in their family that's with the unit, that they're a unit commissioner, so they really can't be independent. So they might be asked to move to another unit and so on. But we need unit commissioners. I remember a time when I was a unit commissioner, I had 8 units. I was going out almost every other night, just troop meetings, pack meetings, and really working hard, just visiting units at least once a month. It was very wearing. So it got pretty intense. So it was very important that we get more unit commissioners. Unit commissioners ideally should have only 1 or 2 units. That's it. That's ideal. Some have a lot more than that.
All right. Angiotensin is asking, can we get a wide angle shot of your set or your office, wherever you're sitting right now?
It is changing. We are going to be moving out of this Monday. So we're going to be moving out of this. I plan to take a bunch of pictures. I've been finding stuff. I found a paperweight that was on my father's desk when he was a professional. And if you're in luck. I have another one that I talked about that I love. This is a thing that was on my father's desk, and it always reminded me of him because he was very poor growing up, and he would run along the railroad tracks. He was a West Virginia boy, and he had this on his desk, and I always thought this was cool. Let me put it a little closer. It's made of pewter, and he had that on his desk, and it was just nice to find this. I was worried it was smushed because it's quite soft, but it's got the railroad tracks and the little guy running down. Obviously, that's not very safe for a young person like this. It's depicted, but it's whimsical. So from that time. So and that was on his desk with the paperweight. I don't see the paperweight. Maybe. No, I don't. But yes, we have pictures you never see. And this is going to be the first time you see them. So I'm going to tilt this up. Maybe we'll bring this out like that. There we go. There's pictures that go all the way up. That's my father in the middle there. And my camp lights for my tent are up there. So I got to move all that. But yeah, that's the wide angle thing. Occasionally I'll take pictures of stuff, and I'll definitely put it on the community. And sometimes you don't even see over here. I have this fleur-de-lis thing here. That was actually in Camp Saratoga. The Saratoga Council that my father was in charge of, they built a house in the middle of a neighborhood, and that was going to be their scout office. The people that the neighborhood association, I think it was a little before that, but they were kind of upset. The only sign they allowed to be put up at that office was that, and they could hang it in the window. That was the sign. So it's got a little history to it. So this is kind of nice, but that's kind of a memory lane there. And I'll put some more pictures up. They go all the way back there. So a lot of different ones.
So Hillary previously asked you about what district you're in, because one of his scouts is moving to Windermere, Florida. Is that within Central Florida Council or a different council?
Yeah, I believe that is in Central Florida Council. Yep. Okay. So, I think so. Windermere. That might be in our district is huge. It's 2 counties. It's huge. It's all of the eastern section of Orange County, which is including all of downtown Orlando. and it goes all the way down towards Kissimmee and goes all the way down. I mean, it's through, I think that county is called Ocoee. So that is a huge district. As far as advancement, it's so big that we had to split it in two. We have a northern Narcoossee and we have a southern Narcoossee. So those two, we had to do that for advancement because it's a good hour and a half drive to get that far down there. But Windermere, I believe, trying to remember where that is. I think that is in our district. I think that is. I think it's southwest of the airport, international airport. You know, at one time they wanted to call our district airports, which I thought was terrible. So I talked them into calling it Colonial.
Greetings from Jacksonville, which is, I guess, the North Florida Council.
North Florida. Yeah. Yeah, Jacksonville, Shands is their big camp. Camp Shands. Beautiful, beautiful camp. They don't have those wooden, planks underneath the cots in their summer camp tent. They have concrete, which is nice. Good concrete. So, and they have outlets in every tent. So, not for your cell phone. It's for a fan.
Okay. Dean says apparently in their council they're replacing commissioners with county-based coaches. Okay.
County-based coaches. Yeah.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with a unit. Say, for instance, you have a cub master that's retiring, for lack of a better word, or moving on to something. Maybe have them be your unit commissioner. Very easy to sign them up. They're already an adult leader. They've already got all the training for that. They'd be perfect to be there for that unit. You can home grow your own unit commissioners very easily. You don't have to go through recruiting and all that stuff. You can just find leaders, scout masters and cub masters, committee chairs. They make great unit commissioners. Great. Because they have that experience. They could definitely help other units.
And Rusty's commenting about your comment a minute ago that we're all volunteers. Oh man, we don't get paid for this.
Mark in England did a whole thing about that. That was funny. He's like, "What do you mean I don't get paid?"
and Dean is, I think, making a comment that they might be renaming commissioners as coaches if people that aren't so involved in scouting may not really know what a commissioner is. I can see that.
True. It would be sad to see the title of commissioner to go, because originally when scouting was first formed, it was all commissioners. Even the professionals were called commissioners from the very beginning. We're talking 1910. So the title, that word commissioner, has been around that long. So it'd be sad to see that go. But, it's a scouting movement. Things change. It's built that way. Things that don't change tend to go to extinction. So we don't want that.
That's right. And Hillary is wondering if coaches would be trained as commissioners, just called coaches rather than commissioners.
Yeah, probably. That would be fine. But I just think the tradition would be nice, to have that commissioner, Yes, it's kind of scary for that. And because of that, I wear a 1957, which has never been done away with, but I wear a 1957's neighborhood commissioner patch. There's no words on it, so I don't want to scare anybody by a title. Okay, so that's actually in some of the videos on the channel, but that's what I wear on the uniform, so that people are not scared because I'm a unit commissioner and it's nothing like that. I'm there to help units succeed, and when they succeed, they help the youth meet their goals. That's what I'm there for. So, and that if the title is everything, then that might be a problem.
Okay, and this viewer says Camp Shands is beautiful, featured in a movie. So
yeah. The sad thing about Shands, the only problem with Shands, is that they became sort of encroached upon by a neighborhood. And unfortunately, the end of camp where where the neighborhoods are moving in, and I mean, just every year getting closer and closer, is the end where the firing range is. So there might be a need to have the firing range move to a different part of camp. So, but that's, other than that, Shands is beautiful. It's a great, great place. It's one of those experiences. All of Florida camping during the summer is what I call jungle camping. It's hot. It's hot everywhere. It was hotter in some of the places in Georgia and up in the mountains. It was hotter there than it was here. So it's going to be hot. That's summer camp. Internationally, depends on if you're where Mike is living, it's probably nice and tempered.
It gets cold here in Minnesota in the middle of the winter, but okay.
Yeah.
He suggests just speculating if a council tries changing commissioners to coaches, that maybe on the district level and council level they would still be called commissioners, but on the unit level they might be called a coach.
Why not? Coaching, mentoring, those are great things. That's what a commissioner actually does. That's really what we do. We help units succeed. That's really the job. That is the job description. And by being there to help the unit leaders find answers to their questions and make things happen. Sometimes there's unique solutions that coaches and mentors and commissioners are exposed to that they could bring to a unit and say, hey, here's a really unique way of handling that situation. Try this. That's really their job, is to help them succeed. That's it in a nutshell. But
I'm out of questions.
Oh, they're all coming up. We have more. Well, let's go ahead and plow through a few, but they are running long.
I'm out of questions. There's no more questions. So
that was it. Okay.
That was it.
Awesome. Well, it's been fun. I enjoyed this. This is great. And Mike, thank you so much for helping me stay on task and trying to see all these things on the screen. My vision's terrible, so as you can tell by the glasses. But it's wonderful to be here, and definitely scouting is one of those things we do because we believe in it. And I really believe in you. I believe you can do this. The Scout Oath and Scout Law are our guide. That's how we succeed. That's the essence of it all. And think about it. You should think about it every single day. That is the key. So, but if we don't have any further ones, Mike, we're ready to roll. We can call it quits.
Well, I think Randy mentioned just getting back from Camp Woodruff, and it was unusually hot. He's glad to be back in the air conditioning.
Yeah. And
Hillary mentioned he earned his Doctor of Commissioner Science this spring in Atlanta.
Awesome. Fantastic. That's a nod. That's a nod. I've never really worked on that. I've taught some courses on that, but I haven't. I should. I don't know why. I got enough knots. I don't need any more knots.
Aaron says after 25 years getting his brotherhood in August, I presume that's Order of the Arrow?
Yes. I had a gap too. It was 30 years. Yeah, it was a long time. So I had a gap from ordeal to brotherhood. So,
and okay, someone's saying they're pleased how the show is going. So thank you, Hillary, for the comment. So, and I think that's it.
Fantastic. So we're almost on schedule. We did start a little like 30 seconds early. So is pushing the wrong button is really what happened. So.
Well, and I must say I certainly appreciate the show, and I appreciate all of the people tuning in with the great questions, because it would be it would not be a show without questions to respond to.
Now I don't edit, so the questions and everything are there. So yeah, any edits have to be done during the show. So that's the thing. So I don't later on take off that beginning and ending. So that's the downside of it. But I want those questions to be there because sometimes the questions are answers that we never even get to. So think about that.
Yeah, well, once in a while, you're talking. If there's a unsuitable question, I'll just delete it. But
yeah, and that's fine. That does occur. Not everybody watching is a scouter. So, that's always true. So thank you so much for watching the video, especially if you're watching it recorded, and a lot of you do. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mike. Thank you.